Today I'm here to talk about our cloud-agnostic storage. Essentially, the issue today is that, if you have your data in one place, let's say a single cloud provider, you're typically also tied to using that cloud provider's compute. This is because if you try to move it out, there's a lot of egress costs associated with it, and otherwise it's just close to the machines that you're going to be training or needing to run inference on. The new state, given Lightning's cloud-agnostic storage, is you can actually write data to a cloud-agnostic folder and then train a model without any egress costs on a completely separate machine on another cloud. And then you can do the same for inference. So you can read and write from any cloud into a centralized agnostic storage folder that can be used across different providers. And to demonstrate that, I'll quickly show you in the drive, just to let you know, we have our Lightning storage. So I have my agnostic folder here, and we'll see that it's empty at the moment. But when I go back into my studios, so right now I have a data processing studio on AWS, and I just have a simple script to create files in this studio. So if I run Python create files, it will write to that storage folder, as long as I choose the right directory here. So it will write, so it created all those, and then if I just ls that folder, you'll see all those folders here. The nice thing is, now I'll step out of this AWS studio and I'll go into an H100 studio on Nebius Cloud. And I have a trainer here. So if I go and from this different machine, if I go and ls this folder, again, team space, Lightning storage, and my agnostic folder here, we can see all of those files here as well. Given I have the files ready for me, I could start my Python encoder here and start training on that data if I wanted to on this H100 machine, which is awesome. So now that I've started doing that, let's say I've trained the model and I want to be able to use that model for inference, and perhaps I'm writing data back to this folder so it can be used and reprocessed to retrain the model, let's say. So I have this completely separate deployment studio, this time on Voltage Park. And if I go and do that same command where I ls that system, I can very simply go to the team space and I can see all those folders here as well. And that's great. So now I have my server that I can spin up, which is actually already running here. And if I use that server, basically the server just writes a data file back to this folder for the time being, but you can imagine this being inference on data that then writes maybe a label on a data back into this data set so that you can reprocess and then retrain on that newly labeled data if you're doing supervised training or fine tuning. And so that's what I would do. I would just run this curl command, and then we'll see if I go back and ls that again, we have that request.json that I wrote from that server. And if I go back into here as well and I go and ls that same file, we'll see that JSON file available in our data processing studio right away. So what we've done in this video is gone from a siloed data set and compute to being able to use your data across many clouds on many different machines that could serve different purposes. So you're able to be very flexible with where you get your machines and where you're storing your data so that you're not locked into any single compute provider. And this provides the ultimate flexibility to do machine learning workloads across clouds. All right, this has been Lightning Cloud Agnostic Storage. Thank you very much for watching.